Recognize the gentleman from California.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 7 minutes to the gentlewoman from the District of Columbia, Representative Norton.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. I strongly oppose this undemocratic and paternalistic bill, which amends D.C. law. The over 700,000 D.C. residents, the majority of whom are black and brown, are capable and worthy of governing themselves. I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record letters opposing this bill from D.C. Mayor Miriam Bowser and the entire D.C. Council and D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwab.
Without objection.
The local legislature, the council, has 13 members. If D.C. residents do not like how members vote, residents can vote them out of office or pass a ballot measure. That is called democracy. Congress has 535 voting members. None are elected by D.C. residents. If D.C. residents do not like how members vote on local D.C. matters, residents cannot vote them out of office or pass a ballot measure. That is the antithesis of democracy. The substance of this bill should be irrelevant since there is never justification for Congress to legislate on local D.C. matters. Nevertheless, I will discuss it. Republicans claim D.C.'s Youth Rehabilitation Act treats adults as juveniles. They are wrong. They either do not understand the act or are misleading the public about it intentionally. The act's sentencing and set-aside provisions apply only in adult court, not juvenile court. Let me repeat. The provisions apply in adult court, not juvenile court. A judge may, but is not required, to sentence a purpose under the act, and certain crimes are ineligible under the act. D.C. is not the only jurisdiction with a so-called young adult offender law. Alabama, Florida, Michigan, New York, South Carolina, and Vermont have such laws. The sponsor of this bill is from one of those states. D.C. residents have all the obligations of American citizenship, including paying federal taxes, serving on juries, and registering with the Selective Service. Yet Congress denies them full local self-government and voting representation in Congress. The only solution to this undemocratic treatment is to grant D.C. statehood. I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record a letter explaining why D.C. statehood is constitutional from leading constitutional scholars, including Larry Tribe.
Without objection.
The D.C. statehood bill, H.R. 51, the Washington, D.C. Admission Act, grants D.C. residents full local self-government and voting representation in Congress. H.R. 51 reduces the size of the federal district from 68 square miles to 2 square miles, consisting of the White House, the Capitol, the Supreme Court, and the National Mall, and remaining under the control of Congress. The new state consists of the residential and commercial areas of D.C. The new state has a larger population than 2 states, pays more federal taxes per capita than any state, and pays more local federal taxes than 21 states. I urge members to vote no on the D.C. Crimes Act, keep their hands off D.C., and free D.C. I yield back.